Hello, this is Vincere from Shoutcast bringing you a top-level replay of Liquid Jinro versus Olgierd. Jinro is spawning as the blue Terran in the upper right-hand corner, and his opponent is a red Protoss spawning in the bottom left-hand corner. This is the Jinro from Team Liquid. He was nice enough to post about 70 of his replays on the Team Liquid forum so that people could watch them, and I decided I would shoutcast a couple of them, maybe just this one, depending on what feedback I get back. Olgierd is, I'm not sure, in the Diamond League. His play reminds me more of my level of play. That might be too insulting to him, I'm not sure, but you'll see as this game progresses what unfolds. Now, Jinro likes to do a nice 1-1-1 build against Protoss, and I like the way it looks, so that's why I'm casting this game. This is why I'm showing this game to you. Maybe people haven't seen these 1-1-1 type builds before, which I would find surprising. But if you haven't, this would be a good introduction, as you don't really have to worry about what the Protoss player is doing. You can really concentrate on Jinro. As you can see, Jinro did send this first SCV scout to scout all the nooks and crannies of his base, make sure the Protoss didn't slip in an early probe and start proxy gating him or proxy cannon rushing. Going to go ahead and throw the production tab up so I can see what he's building. You can see that he's starting his barracks and refinery about the same time, and that will enable him to use that gas. It'll allow him to throw up the reactor he's going to throw up to on his barracks as soon as that finishes. It'll allow him to throw up a factory very quickly. These are all very important things for the 1-1-1 build, so you really have to get that early gas. So you can see that gas just finished building, and that barracks will finish here in just a second as well. Now he comes in here with his SCV, and he sees that he's got a gateway, a cybernetics core, and another pylon spawning. I think this pylon's a little late. Generally, as a Protoss player, I like my pylon to be going up about the same time as, not at the same time, going up as I'm building my gateway. See, there's Jinro's reactor going up, and he is throwing up his second gas right now, along with his supply depots almost finishing. And he does have his orbital command out, which allows him to throw down mules and collect minerals even faster. Now, in this little bit of a lull, I would like to mention that I have redesigned my website so that it is more functional, shoutcaststrategy.com. However, it is very ugly, and I apologize for the eye bleeding that may occur from visiting the website, but it will become much more helpful for me because I do plan on posting a blog about my adventure to become a top-level diamond player, so that maybe one day I can take on a Jinro and not look too bad against him. But for now, since the beta's not up, I don't really have anything to post. I'm not just going to post a bunch of random things. I talk about enough random things in my replays. As you can see with this reactor, this allows him to crank out Marines very fast, and this would enable him to deal fairly easily with any early rushes coming on. But since he has this scout here, he can see any force coming from the Protoss. The Protoss will either have to run up through this way, or the Protoss will run through the middle, and that he has clear vision over either of those two paths. So unless the Protoss player was feeling really sneaky and tried to move him all the way around like that, which would be obscene, that's not going to happen. One thing I would like to mention, and this is why I don't think Olgierd is at the same level as Jinro, is if we take a look at Olgierd's camera, he's done absolutely zero scouting. The furthest he's made it out was when he's chasing the SCV out. He didn't even follow the SCV all the way to the Zelnaga tower, which would allow him to probably kill the SCV or force it running back, gain a tiny bit of map control. I guess that's really the wrong word to use. One thing I like to see that Jinro does is he concaves his Marines up at the top of his ramp, and that helps get a nice maximum amount of DPS for anything that comes up this ramp in case there's an early rush coming. You can see this tech lab going up on the starport already, and that's because he got this early gas, and that allows him to tech up so fast. He's got his siege tanks coming out, and then he's in a nice strong position. You can see the Protoss player is going to fairly standard build. He's got 2 gate, and he's not researching warp gate, which I think is a mistake. He's put a forge up, another pylon. Now if he was going for early pressure with gate units, he really should just 4-gate. That's the optimum amount of gates to have up so that you can apply early pressure. Or he could have, if he only with the 2 gates, maybe he was going to fast expand, which he does not do. He just kind of sits back, and like I said, it reminds me of my level play. He has a nice little wedge here, wall, however you want to call it, so that Hellions would have a harder time running in and out of through the mineral line. You can place a couple units here and place a couple units here and completely block off his probes and protect them from Hellion harasses, which he doesn't know that he needs to be worried about because, as I said, he's done absolutely no scouting of Jinro. I guess I should change that back to everyone. As you can see, at least he is upgrading his weapons with that forge. I do like to see that. Upgrading your weapons is always a good idea. He is finally throwing up a 3rd gateway. He probably should go ahead and throw up a 4th gateway as well, but he doesn't. And he's still not researching warp gates. I don't know if he doesn't understand the importance of warp gates. He could save some of these chrono boosts so he wasn't constantly trying to chrono boost these units out, and he has them queued up. He really should have a 4th warp gate going up. But here you can see a very standard couple zealots, couple stalkers, couple sentries army, and you can really tell that this is a play from a lower level player. This is what he's expecting to do, a timing push on Jinro and expecting to kill some units, do some damage because he's on one base and he's cranking out nothing but tier 1 units. He is getting the weapon upgrade to maybe serve him better later, or maybe just do a little bit more damage now. However, he's going to run up this ramp and see this Raven, these 3 tanks, the 15 Marines, and he's going to 14 Marines and run into a lot of problems. And because he let these SCVs stand here without ever sending any units to kill these SCVs, Jinro sees this push coming, and he probably thinks it's stronger than it actually is, and he immediately